Hello, everyone. Welcome to Biology 120, week number 1 in September 2025. I'm Dr. Janie Sigmon, and I will be leading you through this course in biology, introductory biology. Can't wait to get to know you each, so I'm looking forward to the discussion sections. I'm guessing that a lot of you will be environmental science majors. Some of you might be psychology majors. So let's see who you are and what you might have in common with each other. So that's going to be interesting. Every week I will post a video like this in my announcements. They run, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the subjects and how much extra information I need to go over, especially about the science, because I like to whittle down some of this content, and I'll explain what you need to cover in your textbook and what assignments are important and how you go about doing the assignments, that sort of thing. So please do come and listen to the videos, watch the videos. Put it on double speed if you need to, because I know I talk slow. But do that if you need to, because I'm putting these on YouTube, and so you can do that on YouTube. So with that being said, let's see what we've got going on. This week is our first week together. You will use the OpenStax, see I've got it written right there, the OpenStax Biology textbook, which is a free online textbook. Don't download it to your computer, because online you can search for anything. Don't order a print copy. I don't know how expensive that is, but that's ridiculous. No, don't do that. So the OpenStax Biology textbook, second edition. All you have to do is do a Google search. You will come up with it, and you can get right into it. Look at the table of contents that tells you the chapters. You just click on one, and you go right to it. And I'll explain some more as we go along about what to cover in that textbook. So for this first week, read Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is a good introduction to biology. So do read Chapter 1 in your textbook. This will be important this week. Like I said in other weeks, I'll tell you how to pare down what you need to read. Watch the 2 videos, especially the one about what is life. That's a very, very good video. So watch the 2 videos, and then also read the article about giant viruses, because you're going to answer some questions about that. So you've got a couple of things due this week. First of all, your discussion board postings. You're going to have these due almost every week. So the discussion board is a way for me to understand what you understand about the topic, and for us to all engage with each other about our topics for the week. So your initial post is always due by Thursday night before midnight. Your 2 response posts to your classmates are due by Sunday evening before midnight. Always, always. All right. In this first week, you're going to introduce yourself. So tell us about you. Do you have a nickname? Where do you live? What's your major? What's your life situation? Anything that you want to share. What are your hobbies? What are you into? Whatever. So we can get to know each other. So introduce yourself, your background, your career goals. What do you hope to do when you graduate from SNHU? Let us know who you are, so we can see if we have things in common with each other. And then you're going to also explain how this course is going to help you with your career. This part should be 1 or 2 paragraphs. I'm giving you some guidelines here. This is not 1 sentence. And none of these discussion board postings are 1 sentence. I'll tell you that. Then you're going to explain why the scientific method is important in biology and how you have used it in your everyday life, and we all have used the scientific method. In my discussion board posting for week 1, I explain what I did with my plants, because I'm a terrible plant mother. Terrible. I try, though. I try so hard. Anyway, take a look at that, and you will have plenty of examples too. And then your 2 response posts to other students' posts are due by Sunday evening. Include what you have in common with them, right? Do you live in the same area? Do you have the same major? Do you have the same interest? Do you have the same family situation? Do you have the same name? Whatever it is. What do you have in common? And then we want you to share tips and resources, whatever you can think of that helps you be successful in online education. This is good. I learn things when y'all share tips and resources, things that I didn't know that were out there. So I can't wait to look for those too. All of these need to be substantive, and that means they have to have body and substance to them. They've got to have information in them. Like, don't just say, "Oh, nice to meet you, Sam. You did a good job with this week's discussion board postings." Yeah, no, that doesn't get it, right? You have to have some substance to your discussion board postings. All right, so that's your discussion board postings. And then this week, you also have a journal entry, which is basically a paper that you write on being alive or not being alive. What are the criteria for being alive? This is where you need to watch that video, Defining Life. And that's a very good video. I like it. Now, the instructions are a little bit unclear, especially at the beginning of this one. It says, choose 2 of the properties of life. Oh, wait a minute. I have them listed right here, the ones that I use. Choose 2 of them, and then something that's alive and something that's not. And then you need to describe, it doesn't really tell you this in the instructions, but you need to describe how each of those properties of life relates to your live thing and your not live thing, right? So if you have a TV, let's see, energy processing. Well, you know, energy comes into a television and makes it work, right? And there's energy processing in a bird, right? Because they give food and they process the energy, and that allows them to fly and reproduce, etc., etc., right? So you're going to explain how these properties of life relate to things that are alive and things that are not alive. If you're trying to decide whether something is alive or not, your organism has to have all of these properties of life. Because if you look at things that are not alive, like crystals can grow and reproduce. But are crystals alive? No, we all realize that that's not true. So an organism has every one of these properties of life. Order, and that includes cells. So every organism is made up of 1 or more cells. And a cell is the basic unit of life. It's a sealed off compartment of that organism that has work going on in it. So that's order. Sensitivity and response to stimuli. Anything that's alive does this, even if it looks like it doesn't, like plants. A huge oak tree doesn't look like it's doing anything. It just looks like it's standing there. And of course it is. It's doing photosynthesis. It's sensitive to the moisture level in the air and moisture level in the soil. There's all kinds of stimuli that plants react to. Reproduction, we all understand how important that is for organisms, because if there's no reproduction, then there is no continuation of life. Adaptation. Adaptation means physical, and it can be behavioral characteristics that allow an organism to survive in a particular environment. So an adaptation is not, oh, I'm going to change my behavior to adjust to a situation. It's usually meaning physical characteristics that allow survival. Growth and development, doesn't that kind of go along with reproduction too? The organism has to grow and develop and change over time in order to then be able to reproduce. Regulation and homeostasis. Homeostasis is very important. So homeostasis is a balancing act for every organism, keeping the cellular, especially the cellular and organismal environment in balance. Homeostasis means in balance. And so it's things like, for us, keeping the pH of our blood at a certain level, around 7.3 pH, so that we can survive, because if it dips down too low and is too acidic, then bad things happen. If it goes higher and it's more alkaline or basic, then that is also harmful to us. So homeostasis is a balancing of wastes and food and all kinds of other chemicals that are coming in and going out of organisms. Energy processing is very important, and this is getting food and then processing that food and producing energy so that you can go about life. Evolution, change in genes in a population over time. This is terribly important because this is how adaptations develop in organisms, in populations of organisms, and how survival is achieved. So evolution is also very important. These are all the properties of life that every organism has. All right, so you've got those two things, the discussion board postings, and there are actually 3 of those, and then your journal entry. I want to also give you every week some hints and tips and tricks for our course, but also just in online learning in general. So first of all, watch my videos in the announcements and look over the announcements every week. I have them posted by midnight Monday morning, 12:01 a.m. Monday morning. That's when they're always posted. And so take a look at my videos, even if you speed them up, that's perfectly fine, so that you can see what is going on in the week. Deadlines are important. Thursdays and Sundays. Thursdays and Sundays. Everything is due by Sunday, except the initial post and the discussion boards, and that is due on Thursday by midnight. Follow the guidelines and the rubrics for each assignment. So some of you may be new to this type of environment, and you're looking and you're thinking, what the heck is a guideline and a rubric? So guidelines are instructions. That's all that means. The instructions to tell you how to do something. And so we have guidelines for absolutely every assignment, every discussion board posting. We have guidelines, instructions. All right, then what the heck's a rubric? The rubric is the way that I grade based on what? The guidelines. So the rubric is the grading scale. It tells me how I'm supposed to grade each component of an assignment. And so you will see that as I'm grading, and I leave feedback for every one of your assignments. You'll see a rubric, and you can read my feedback and then see what I've checked on it. All right, then read the feedback that I give you, especially on your final project that goes through the whole term, because you have a chance to amend, fix, revise your project until you get it in perfect condition toward the end of the term, and then you're going to have a perfect grade. So read the feedback that I give. Label everything that you turn in as files, because sometimes you guys get confused too, because you don't remember what you called something as you were working on it. So give it a good label. Bio 120, week 4, I don't know, some kind of part A of the final project, something like that. But also label it at the top of the page so that we know which course it is and who you are, what the date is, and what this particular assignment is. Label everything. This helps you. This helps me. Because sometimes I get some crazy things turned in. Like, you forget which file you've been working on, and so you turn in your economics journal entry for a biology course, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So label everything. When in doubt, or you're in trouble, or you have any questions, please, please ask me. That's what I'm here for. And I am happy to answer any questions. I'm always checking my phone, looking for email messages. Like I said in my introduction video, I'm going to be out of the country until August the 29th, but our course doesn't start until September the 1st. If you have any questions ahead of time, you're going to have to wait on me to get back before I can answer, because I'm actually not even allowed to answer you if I'm out of the country. But when I get back on the 29th, I will be looking to see if I have anything out there. When in doubt, when in trouble, when you have questions, please ask me. m.sigmon@snhu.edu. I will be glad to help you, to answer anything with you, to work with you. If you're really not understanding something, I can understand that. I really can. I am happy to help you. That's why I have this job. Okay? So with that being said, I hope that you have a wonderful week number 1. I know that I'm going to, and I can't wait to get to know you in week 1 of Bio 120. Have a wonderful week.